Hi, it's Ben Life for Page here, and in this video I'm going to be playing some Turf War in Spaltoon. Okay, I don't recognise this particular map. I mean, I do remember playing on it vaguely, but I don't think this is in Spaltoon 2. But you know what, the basic concept is just to ink stuff, so once I learn the layout, this should be fine. Okay, there's water though. That's useful to know. I still find it weird how inklings drown in water, considering that they're squids. Like, I'm not sure what the logic behind that is. Like, I get that they're made out of ink, but they're still squids, so surely they can swim in water. Like, I've heard some people say they dissolve in water, but in which case, if their entire body is made of ink, then how come they can stand up straight, and they don't, like, sort of dissolve in land? Like, if they're just liquid, they wouldn't be able to move around, they wouldn't be able to stand up. So, therefore there must be some biological matter to them. Therefore meaning them dissolving in water doesn't really make sense. I'm not doing too well in this play session. But I mean, the last time I went on Spaltoon, I didn't do that well either, so yeah. I think it's just because there's lots of really good players who stayed on Spaltoon, whereas most players just moved on to Spaltoon 2. And for the most part, that's what I play as well, but you know, it's kind of nice to occasionally go back to the first one. Primarily for a bit of variety in the maps, but also just because I really like the series in general. I do quite like going back to Spaltoon 1. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of pretty good players, because they've pretty much never left this series. Or if they have, they're playing Spaltoon 1 and both Spaltoon 1 and Spaltoon 2 at the same time and doing very well at both. I'm not sure which team won that one. I don't think it's my team, but it probably won't be. No, okay, the opposite team. I kind of thought they were doing better. And just looking at the map, you can see they definitely did better. Maybe we'll win this one. I guess it depends how good the rest of my team is. Yeah, the roller's really good, but it's not very good at aim range, so I kind of got killed by that one player there. Because they have better range than me. I think I'll probably go like 2 more rounds of the roller, then maybe the ink brush or one of the guns. Unfortunately, Spaltoon 1 didn't have dualies, so I can't go with those, which are my personal favourite Spaltoon weapons. But I guess I could go with like a sculpture or something. That'll probably work reasonably well at range. Of course, now I have the problem of if someone gets up close to me with a roller or a brush, then I'm not going to do quite as well. So either way, it's not perfect, and none of the weapons have like all advantages or all disadvantages. But I feel like range is more useful than close-up weapons in general. So I'm probably going to switch to a gun in a minute. But I do quite like using the roller because it's quite satisfying to sort of spray everywhere and also crush people with it. I mean, maybe a little bit violent, but it's quite a fun weapon to use. But obviously it's cartoonish violence, so you know, it's fun. And even if it was like bloody violence and stuff, I wouldn't really mind it that much as long as it wasn't too dramatic. But yeah, it's just squids with ink. I'd say coming up with Spaltoon is kind of genius because it means that Nintendo can have a shooter franchise, but they can also have it sort of fit with their brand values of not having overly violent stuff and in general sort of being family friendly. By sort of making it ink-based combat instead of actual weapons. And plus, the gameplay is just really fun and fast-paced because of the ink-based combat. So it works to sort of make the game really fun, and also works very well with sort of Nintendo's, I guess, ethos of making games. I think that's quite good. I don't know. You know, the way they make games. Team lost again. Not having very good luck today. Like, most of the players were doing quite well that match, but my team just did slightly less well. Partly because of me, I think. So I think I will switch to a ranged weapon. Maybe that'll help a bit. But if my team's doing badly, there's not really that much I can do about them. Okay, we've got Anchovy Games. I think this one is in Spaltoon 2, but the layout's slightly different in Spaltoon 1, so that doesn't really help me that much. I mean, it helps a little bit because it's roughly the same map, but just a couple of differences that's going to make it slightly harder at first. But once I remember how to play on this map, I should be fine. Oh, pretty good song for this one. It's not one of my favourites, but it's pretty good. I think out of the regular battle songs, this is possibly my favourite. Because, I mean, some of the better songs in the Spaltoon soundtrack are sort of used in the story mode or other situations, whereas the regular battle music is sort of basic instrumental stuff for the most part. Sort of to go with the gameplay, I guess. And it does work quite well for that. So yeah, out of the ones that are used during battle, so this is perhaps my favourite, definitely one of my favourites. Well, I do like most of this particular song, so there's not really any dislike that much. I just died. Probably shouldn't have been focusing quite so much on taunting the other player. Probably should have focused a bit more on shooting their teammate. Oh well. Can always get them this time. And I'm about to get me. Yep, I'm dead. Probably should have looked out for those bombs. Also, I should have been paying attention to what was behind me. Let's check the map. Oh, okay. We need to pick up the pace a little bit. I mean, this isn't going as bad as the previous one, but still not winning. I do feel like the good players are sort of a bit more evenly balanced on the different teams though this time. So it's not like getting completely destroyed, just the other teams pushing a bit more. I've got a couple of splats though, so that's good. At least I think I do. So, you know, even if the team doesn't win, which they might, at least I feel like I've done very well in this match. I mean, it's not my best, but, you know, most of these players are pretty good, so I feel like I've done pretty reasonably considerate. Okay, I think we may have won that. Yeah, okay, we won that. That's good. First win of this particular play session. Definitely did a bit better with the gun. I mean, the roller's fun, but the gun's way better. At least I do a lot better with ranged weapons in this game. I mean, I know a lot of people do quite well with the roller, but personally, I just find the range weapon works better, even if the rollers and ink brushes are quite fun. I think this is the one that has like a lot of water, but also lots of different platforms. So I'm going to have to be kind of careful on this one. But I reckon if I don't sort of... If I pay attention, I guess I should be able to do fine. Okay, jump across. Probably should have gone the other way. Oh well. That happens sometimes. There's a bit though, but whatever. Well, they didn't even shoot me, they just used the bomb. I feel like I probably shouldn't have died to that, but whatever. But bombs are usually used more as a distraction. Bombs are usually used more of a distraction method, so I was still surprised that that killed me, but whatever. I mean, initially I did think it was them shooting, but apparently it was the bomb. I guess it was kind of standing in the green ink, so I probably should have been in the purple ink. Therefore the bomb wouldn't have done as much damage. Okay, well, my teammates go. Well, as long as we got rid of them, it doesn't really matter. Did someone just jump off the edge there? I think they did. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or not. I'm kind of going to assume it probably wasn't. I'm not sure quite how they managed to do that, though, because it's quite obvious where the edge of that platform is. I think there's even a barrier in front of it. So maybe it was deliberate, I'm not entirely certain. Maybe they just looked away from the screen for a second. Yeah, Salt's very big, although it doesn't have a very good name. It's quite a fun map. I especially like sort of how it's sort of themed around a dock and you've got a whole bunch of crates and stuff. Sort of reminds me of Cargo from Call of Duty Black Ops 2, but just Spaltoonized, I guess. Okay, I think we might win this one because the enemy team only has 3 players, which is one of them disconnected. Unless, of course, one of the players on my team disconnects. I guess we'll see. And I guess if the 3 players are being good at the game, then they could be this. But typically when there's like a 4 versus 3 situation, any situation where it's less players versus more players, the greater number of players will win. Although I've just noticed one of our players is disconnected, so I guess it's an even match. Unless they just die, but they don't seem to have respawned, so I think they're disconnected. So I guess what I was saying earlier doesn't really matter. Just a 3 versus 3 now. Yeah, one thing I do really like about Spaltoon is how quickly the rounds are. because it means that each encounter within a battle actually matters, and it makes the games very tense and also very fast-paced, which just makes it pretty fun in general. And I feel like the short time sort of adds quite a bit of pressure, and in general it's just a really good length for a shooter game round, I think. Especially one like Spaltoon. The gameplay in general in Spaltoon is quite fast-paced, so if the rounds were really long, it would sort of feel slightly off, whereas the 3-minute round is not too short, but also not too long, so it just works really well with Spaltoon's gameplay. I mean, 4 minutes would be fine as well, 5 would probably be a bit too long, whereas 2 would be too short, so I think 3 or 4 minutes is perfect for Spaltoon. I don't think my team's winning this one, so I guess I was kind of wrong earlier. But I don't think that one of the people on my team would also disconnect. If it was still a 3 versus 4 match, then I feel like my team would be doing slightly better, though these 3 players do seem to be doing quite well on their own. So maybe they would have won anyway. Okay, so that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.